Across our neighbourhood and across the world, live from Thomas Carr College in Tani, you're listening to CEM Radio Week on Live FM. Okay, thank you for having me. I'm Temwani Mazaba. I'm currently going to be a school captain of next year. Today, I'm interviewing two parents from Thomas Carr College, Jacinta Messica, who is a librarian, and Morella Koropeki, which is one of our canteen ladies. Thank you for having us, and how are you guys feeling at the moment?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you. Yep, good.
Okay, so let's start off because you guys are both parents. How many kids do you both have?
Okay, so I have two children.
Yeah. Okay, so how old are they?
So both one is 19 and one is 17.
Okay, what about you, Morella?
I've got three children. I've got a 21-year-old, 18-year-old and a 16-year-old.
Wow, teenagers. I'm one of those. Okay, so from a parent's perspective, COVID has been, I guess you could say, challenging. And I think it's really great to also appreciate the work that you guys have done. So from your perspective, how has parenting been during this time?
I don't think, in some ways for me, I don't feel that it's changed a lot. I think what's happened is it gives you a little bit more perspective on the importance of family connections and the importance of making sure that your children's well-being is uppermost.
Yeah, that's great. So what about you, Morella?
It has been a little bit challenging, and I found that the two students that I've got at school, or my two kids that are at school, have been very different in their way that they've learnt, that they've needed to ask for help, and that's been very difficult as well for them to do that.
Yeah, so guessing since you're at home with your children, a lot of the time your children are at school. What is something that you didn't know about them that you know about them now, or you've just figured out a bit more about them?
I found that they've been quite resilient in the way that they've learnt and what they've had to achieve, as, I mean, a lot of children have.
Yeah, that's really sweet. What about you, Jacinta?
Look, I think I'd agree with Morella. I think the thing that I've learnt or has been reinforced with me is just how hard my daughter is still at school works, how much effort she puts into things we knew, but it was a reminder just how hard she does work and how much care she takes with her work.
Yeah, I think you can say that because of everything that's going on, I guess you could say that it's also been a test to us, and we should just appreciate and be thankful for getting through it to the best of our possible ability. So I've got another question here. What is one of the most valuable lessons that you've learned as a parent, as a family, from COVID?
Family time, as Jacinta said before, that's been huge, and just seeing the kids throughout the day and them having to not only deal with what they're doing and learning, and then they come down and make I know my son would make, a big breakfast at recess time, but yeah, just that family time and having someone there all the time, I think.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's right. Sorry, I'd have to agree with Morella most definitely. The importance of connections and those family connections was a big reminder of that. And the fact that even though they're teenagers, they're still looking for that connection.
Definitely.
Yeah, and again, yes, the breakfast at recess and all that sort of thing was lovely. And the flexibility that, we sometimes think that teenagers like things done a certain way, but they are extremely adaptable and resilient. The strength the strength in our teenagers has been amazing.
Yeah, I can tell you from a teenager's perspective going through school that it was a bit challenging, and I've also learned a bit about myself and the way that, and I appreciate a lot more of what my parents have done. So it's just great to hear from your perspective what you guys have also done, and I can tell you from the bottom of our hearts we do appreciate it as much as we can. So So, obviously, having to adjust to a few things. Who was the funniest, or what have you learned? Who's like the comedian of the house?
Um, I don't know. I don't know whether, for me, I don't know about the comedian of the house, but that little, little asides and the little comments and the finding the humour in things is probably my younger daughter, definitely. She'd come out with just the little bits and pieces every so often, those little observations, which you had a bit of a laugh about and went, yeah, she's right. So, yeah.
And just learning the way that they, or understanding the way that they learn. Because obviously they all learn differently, and then they've had to adapt again to learning at home. So, the different idiosyncrasies, I suppose, that they use.
Yeah. So, this was great having a conversation with you guys. I want to thank you guys for coming on, and I would like to wish you the best. So, thank you once again for listening to this radio. I would like to thank you so much for sparing your time. I'm Temwani Mazava, a college captain at Thomas Carr College. I'm here again with Morella and Jacinta, 2 staff members at Thomas Carr College. So across our neighbourhood and across the world, live from Thomas Carr College in Tarni, you're listening to CDM Radio Ed Week on Live FM. Thank you for having us.